Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 66 of the 72 review. It's great to welcome back Lee from around the grounds. He's looking well. He's had a bit of rest and rehab, and he's looking much better. So we'll start with you, mate. For people who don't know you, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it? Why do you do it?
Yeah, it seems like I've not been in here for some time, doesn't it? No, it's good to be back, mate. I've missed it. Nice to have that rehab, especially after yesterday. I definitely need it. But yeah, I'm around the grounds, Wednesday fan. But when I'm not covering Wednesday, I'm on my travels, covering it for my channel and absolutely loving it. And like I say, pleasure to be back, joining you two legends.
It's great to have you back, mate. And congratulations on surpassing 6,000 subs this week as well. That is some achievement and well-deserved as well. Next to me, a recognisable face. It's Ian from Over the Bar, and it's a happy Ian this week. He's got a point. It's been a while, but for people who don't know you, mate, let them know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Hello, my name's Ian. I'm a Rotherham fan for me sins, season ticket holder. And when the Millers are away, I'm not daft enough to go and follow them, so I go around the country vlogging for Over the Bar YouTube channel. Somebody on Twitter asked if I were going down to Bristol City. I says there's not a snowball's chance in hell of me going there.
Ian, I should have listened to that yesterday, mate, because on that way back, I was like, what have I done?
It's a long old journey when you've been battered, isn't it?
It definitely is.
But no, as always, get your comments in the chat. I can see that quite a few are coming in already. It does drive the conversation. But if you are new to this, we go through all three divisions. We pick a few games to talk about. Obviously, we've got Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday and Doncaster Rovers, but we'll try and get a few more games in there to talk about as well. Anything that interested us over the week and into the weekend, and hopefully you guys will get involved as well. Everyone from every club is more than welcome to get involved and have your say about your team. We've got Sue, Lincoln fan. Good evening all. Hakib again. Yeah, we will get onto League 2 and Doncaster Rovers later, but a fantastic 7 days for Lincoln. 16 goals scored, I think only one conceded, so in unreal form. We've got MTFC, a regular on the channel. Good evening. John as well. Good evening, John. We have got Mark, who said a 2-1 win to Donny, 4 points off 16th place. It's a decent run. Lost 1 in 9. Just wish it had come a little bit earlier and we'd have been possibly looking at playoffs. ATID is not happy. Foster is here to stay. Yeah, a disappointing result for you guys this weekend. Neil, the terrific trio, is back in. And John's wondering where your blindfold is, Ian.
Honestly, to be fair to Ian, a lot probably wouldn't have gone along with what you did, Ian, with a blindfold. It's a credit to you, mate, because I might not have gone with it. What are we doing here?
I knew you were vlogging, so I thought I'll go along with it. And I thought, well, whatever it is, but I have got a tipping point. And I thought, well, if it's something I don't like, I'll just sort of say no now. But it was absolutely brilliantly. I really enjoyed it. And
for those that haven't seen it, recommend you go over to Around the Grounds channel and search for the video from last Sunday, I think it was. Yeah, last Sunday, where Lee has given a bit of a gift to Ian, but I'm not going to say too much. Go and watch the video. It's fantastic. It nearly brought a tear to my eye, put it that way.
It nearly did mine, I know, when he took his blindfold off him, bless him.
Yeah, that's it.
It was reaction you wanted, weren't it, Lee?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
JB surprised that Neil's turned up. Obviously, Bradford had a bit of a tough time at it yesterday, but Neil always turns up, which he does. And he wishes that his team had turned up yesterday. Maybe if Lee had been there, it might have been a different story.
Yeah, I'm there Tuesday, Neil.
Right. I'm on the Guinness. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, I'm not Irish, but whatever it's there, you've got to take it, haven't you? So let's get into this weekend's fixtures. We will start in the Championship. Let's get the Championship up. And I think probably the best place to start would be Portman Road. Lee,
Cheers straight into it. Love it.
Sorry, mate. Let's get the damage done, because then we'll go on to a draw and then a victory from the panel, and we'll touch on other stuff as we go. But yeah, let's get the battering out of the way, shall we?
Yeah. So yesterday was my first trip to Portman Road. I've never been. It's a ground I've always wanted to tick off, and it just happened to be that Wednesday were due to play, so I thought, why not get myself down, get in the car nice and early. You always obviously leave your house with a bit of expectation. I was obviously a level-headed Wednesday fan coming into this one. Portman Road, it's a tough place to go. Not many teams have. Well, I think since McKenna's, I don't know how many. I think he's only lost 4. Don't quote me on that, but I'm sure people will be able to. Yeah, it's not many at all. So it's a fantastic run they're on, and obviously after last year promotion, both teams. So yeah, it was a tough order, and it proved that yesterday. Obviously Wednesday started okay. Couple of efforts. Ugbo got pulled back, and his effort just over the bar, but yeah, after that it was just a one-way show really. The first goal, fantastic build-off. If you've seen it on the EFL show, obviously watching it live, you don't really take note as much as what you do watching the highlights. But yeah, it started from the keeper, and the build-up play is fantastic, and then it's ended up with the main man, Hutchinson, who absolutely run the show yesterday, on loan from Chelsea. Obviously playing in that number 10 where Connor Chaplin's been playing. He was unplayable yesterday, boys. Absolutely unplayable. Gets a goal, great finish, and it was just a tall order from there. Wednesdays, when they concede, the heads do drop, and it just come in waves. The second goal was from a corner, more header. It's a great header, to be fair, and it's smashed off the bar, and we just don't clear his lines, and it's 2-0. And then the third come just before half time, and again, great ball in, and Broadhead makes it 3-0. And it's just uphill task from there to come back from 3-0, and it was just never going to happen. And then the changes come at half time. I think Bannon got injured. Pervaded, I think he's done his hamstring. Yeah. So international might have come at the right time, but we'll wait and see with that one. And then second half again, another great move by Hutchinson. A great finish, and he's 4-0, and then it was just like a bit of a training session till the final 2 come at late on. So the new lad, El Hamadi, getting a brace late on.
But I could have scored both of them. They were both tappings, weren't they? Yeah.
Credit to Hutchinson, he's done all the hard work, especially the last goal. He's Firmino looked absolutely stupid, and he's just putting on a play. He's just got a tap in, easy goal for a 6. But credit to Ipswich yesterday, they were absolutely ruthless. You just can't not give them credit for that. They just played us off the park, and it showed the gulf in class really, in the squad depth that they've got to bring off the bench. Obviously, new signing El Hamadi, and they're still missing like Chaplin, who was sick yesterday. It's just the levels, obviously, from promotion last year, we've not kicked on. Obviously, the summer's killed us. It's just what the job that McKenna's doing, you've just got to praise, because he's just been fantastic, and it's great football to watch. Really is.
Yeah, I think we've seen it so often, haven't we? The 3 teams that go up from League One struggle. They're always kind of in and around that relegation battle. But like you said, McKenna's doing such a superb job, and they've just they've set themselves up really well from League One to the Championship, and they've attacked it so they've just absolutely ripped it to pieces, haven't they?
I mean, credit to Danny Roll to be in the position that we're in now after the start that we've had with the squad that we've got. It's just testament to him and the job he's doing, because like it proved yesterday that the squad isn't up to it, and it's not good enough, and it needed to be invested in. We look leggy at times, and the way Ipswich moved the ball is with purpose, and way Wednesday we didn't really have the ideas, and you could tell there was that difference there yesterday, and it was just such a gulfing class, and you can't not give credit to Ipswich at all yesterday because they were just fantastic.
Yeah, ATID's come in and said that it's not expressed enough how big of an achievement it was for Plymouth to finish above Ipswich last year. He's just frustrated that Foster's making all those achievements irrelevant at the moment because they're in a bit of a pickle themselves, aren't they?
And I think that's what the frustration from my point of view. Obviously, we've done it through the playoffs. We had a fantastic high after the semi-final with Peterborough, and then you go up via Wembley. You're on a crest of a wave, and then obviously the summer you've just gone down again. You've gone backwards, and it's really frustration. So I can echo his thoughts on Plymouth there, because it's similar sort of predicament. Obviously, after their manager went, they started fairly well. Obviously, he's gone on to Stoke, but yeah, it's just so frustrating, and you're also a bit jealous with Ipswich because you sort of think you always get one sort of promoted side that do well, and Ipswich, I think they've exceeded my expectations. I had them sort of in the playoffs, but to be challenging for that top 2 spot, it's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
Indeed.
I mean, he's got a work ethic there. He's got a team that's bang full of confidence. That know that each other's games inside out. You can tell by the way the attacking waves, and they know they can find the men, and they've got players there that wouldn't be out of place in a Premier League side, like your West Burns, your Connor Chaplins. Brilliant Championship style footballers, Championship quality.
Yeah,
and they've also recruited well. They've recruited really well. Yeah.
He's got his principles and he'll stick to it. You'll look at the Bristol City game where they won 3-2 the other week. Obviously, I think they were losing twice, and they come back and ended up winning that. But they stuck to what they know and what they're good at, and they ended up the wonder game. So I think you've got to give him credit for that, because a lot do sort of change and it don't really work, and he sticks to his guns, and they're up there for a reason because they have got that quality. Yeah.
I mean, look, when they played us, we equalised at 3-3 at Portman Road, and we thought we're going to get a fantastic point out of this one. We absolutely mullered them second half in that, and we came back from 3-1 down to get to 3-3. What do? They kick off, go straight up the other end and put the winner in 5th minute or injury time. And that's time for a successful club.
Yeah, and they've got it in them to score late on, because they've got that quality, and they've got that quality on the bench. And you look at our bench yesterday, what we had to bring on compared to theirs, it's just it's what you could dream of, really, because we just had nothing.
Yeah. So a 6-0 defeat is damaging. I think somebody said it earlier in the chat that hopefully it doesn't impact the kind of the mood or the confidence too much, because you have been doing fairly well under Danny Roll. You're still in touching distance. Results did go your way yesterday. If we have a look at some of them in and around you, obviously QPR drawing, Stoke getting beat, Plymouth getting beat, Rotherham and Huddersfield drawing, which we'll move on to, Millwall getting beat today. You've not really lost any ground as such. So although it's a damaging defeat, you can kind of still look at the table and think we're still in this.
Yeah, and also the international breaks come just right, because you can regroup, have a fortnight on the training ground, develop ways of playing and whatnot, ready for your next game.
Yeah, and a couple of things. Obviously, we won 4 before the Leeds and Ipswich. We all knew that these games were going to be tough, that you probably weren't going to get anything out of them. Leeds, we performed better. Obviously, that killer goal before half-time killed us. But the performance were there. I just think the Ipswich, out of the two, I think that we come up against a real tough side who just blew us away. And like Ian said, the break has come at the right time. And under Danny Roll, I really trust to work on things and get things right. And testament to the fan base yesterday. I kept looking back because they were literally sat behind me because I was in the home end, unfortunately for me. So it was quite a double barrel day where it was a bit horrible having to sit through that. But credit to the fan base, stuck with him. A lot of fans could have just walked out. They stuck by him and still sang the songs about Danny Roll, and I think that shows how much they believe in this manager and they want to get behind him. And fingers crossed that we can do it, because we are in a fighting chance. And I've said this before, to be where we are now, you've just got to give massive praise to the manager. And
even if they do go down, Lee, you've got to stick with Danny Roll for next season. Absolutely got to.
Yeah, it'd be madness to get rid of. The only worry I have is if we do go down, his clubs will come in and swoop for him.
Possibly.
Because he is going to go to the top. There's no doubt about that. So we've just sort of got to try and enjoy it. As much as it sounds stupid that we're in a relegation dogfight, we've got to enjoy him being here, because he ain't going to be here for the long haul. Wednesday fans will admit that he is going to go to the top. He's a young manager, up and coming manager. This is his first job. It was already sought after. Obviously, he's been in jobs before with a German national team, Bayern Munich. He had spells at Southampton where they did well before he went. They sort of dipped.
I agree.
You just got to enjoy it, as mad as it sounds that we're in a relegation dogfight, because we're having a go sort of thing. Yesterday aside.
Yeah, I think he's not done his stock any damage, has he, since coming to Sheffield Wednesday? Like you say, you're in a relegation dogfight, but before he came, you looked cut adrift and really weren't going to make a challenge for staying up at all. So to be in this position at this stage of the season, it's certainly partially down to Danny Roll, if not a big part down to him. So yeah,
and you look at the games You look at the games coming up. We've got Swansea, who are obviously in the mix. Obviously, they got a good win yesterday. We've got QPR away coming up there in the mix. You've got Stoke coming up at home, which could be absolutely huge. Yeah. So the run of games that we have got, I think we've got Blackburn away coming up as well. So it's not a bad run that we're on. It's just got to put these two behind us now and focus on the next few games. So yeah, I think the toughest one we've got in there. Well, probably Norwich, West Brom.
Yeah.
And Borough are up and down as well.
That's what I mean. And I'm hoping Sunderland are on the beach by the time we play them on last day.
Yeah.
No more beach balls at Sunderland, though. That's some time ago. Right, moving on to Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 0. This was a result that was all right for Wednesday fans, to be fair. The Rotherham have done you a favour. But a point, which has been a long time coming in.
It has. It's been
probably
10
still
games
too little too late, isn't it, though?
Of course it is. I don't think we'll get the playoffs now. But a much improved performance by our lads. I mean, they put a shift in for a change. Huddersfield, though, I mean, if they'd have won this game, they'd have come out the bottom three. And to be honest with you, when you're leaving your top scorers, Danny Ward and Josh Karoma, on the bench and don't bring them on at any point, it just seems a bit silly. I mean, they were relying on that young lad, that Jack Rodoni up front on his own. I mean, all right, they had 18 efforts, 5 on target, but the ones that were on target, I mean, Victor Johansson just chucked his cap on them. They were just efforts from outside the box that never troubled the keeper. Going forward, we're really poor. We tried Charlie Wyke and Sam Nombe up front yesterday. It didn't really work. We're not getting any real service from midfield or the flanks, but defensively we looked a lot better. I mean, I put a tweet out earlier on in the week saying that Rotherham should get rid of all the 30-something old men that they've recruited in the summer that were always on the injury table. But Sean Morrison came in yesterday and he was the best player on the pitch. He headed and blocked everything. He really, I mean, yeah, he's championship standard because he's played in the championship or higher all his career, and you can tell. He did really well yesterday. But yeah, a big improvement on the Sheffield Wednesday game, which was the last Rotherham game I watched. But it were a big improvement. But Huddersfield, they just look in terrible trouble to me. They were poor. They couldn't find the men. When they did attack, me as a Rotherham fan, I didn't feel as though they were going to score at any time, Huddersfield, even though they had the majority of the attempts. They just, I don't know. I mean, Huddersfield fans, there were 2,500 of them. They packed the away end out, and they booed their own side off after an away draw. That should tell you something.
Yeah,
and they've got some really, really difficult games coming up. Huddersfield, I think they're in trouble. I think they're in a lot of that. In fact, I would say they're in bigger trouble than Wednesday, even though they are above Wednesday in the table.
Yeah, I mean, go on, Lee. Sorry.
It's one of them games that they really had to win, should have won type thing, obviously, because of the position that you guys are in. Like we played you the other week. If we'd have not won that, you'd have been really disappointed. So I can see why they were frustrated at the end with the booing, because it's one of them that you've got to be getting 3 points.
I mean, Argyle will have the same. I would think so. Argyle will have the same sort of scenario when they come on the Friday night game. It'll be a must-win game against us because we are the division's whipping boys. So anything less than a 3-pointer will be a disaster.
Yeah.
We've just had a question from Neil. Where's Jake tonight? So he's done a lot of content creation with the Talking Wednesday boys yesterday. So he put a lot of hours in. So his missus has obviously put the trousers on, told him he needs to spend some time with her and the kids, asking if he is well. He is perfectly well. He came on at about 6 o'clock, asked how all us lot were doing. But yeah, he should be back on the 31st because we've not got a show next week. But he is well. He's just done a lot of content creation this week. So he's putting some time in with the family. So thank you for asking. I'm sure he will be grateful for that. But I'm looking forward to seeing what content is coming up from him, Worko and Dexterity. Lovely stuff.
One question I would like to ask. Where's Finley tonight?
Yeah,
we've not had a message from Finley yet, unless I've missed it.
By the way, he's got a date. I don't know if you know this, Dan, that he's coming to the game.
When? Do we know?
The Rovers game.
Wrexham game, 2nd of April.
Oh, lovely stuff. I get to meet Finley. I'm looking forward to that because I did say last week I was disappointed that I'm the only one out of the 72 review lads that I've not had a picture with him, not been on his Instagram story. I'm fuming, not happy. And now he's not even in chat. He's sacked me off, hasn't he? That's what it is.
He were class yesterday because he didn't know where we were going. So I arranged with his mum and dad not to tell him to try and keep it on the down low and obviously come round the corner, had it on video and we're proper shot, bless him. And one of them where he sort of knew what we were and he was like, what are you doing here? Like, it was brilliant. Nice.
Oh, brilliant. Is it on video, Lee?
Yeah, mate.
It's on video, yeah.
Yeah. Dan, am I allowed to go to that game?
No. We're in the hunt for playoffs, Lee. You're not allowed here until next season, mate. That's it.
They're safe now. You're okay. Don't worry.
I'm going to go incognito. Tash as well. Bomb there.
Right, gents. Any other championship games that you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, there's. We were talking about the clubs that were in trouble. Birmingham, they've dropped like a stone.
There.
They're really in difficulty at the moment. There's still, I mean,
We'll avoid
26,
Plymouth ATID just for you.
Yeah.
26
Go on,
shots.
Ian, sorry, Birmingham.
Yeah, 26 shots against Watford, only 4 on target. They don't look good at all. They're dropping like a stone. I don't know what games they've got left. I mean, I know they've still got to come to New York, as it like Argyle have. But if everybody beats us, it doesn't really mean anything, you know.
No.
I mean, that's going to be massive. QPR away. That's going to be massive.
Yeah, and Huddersfield have still got to play.
Yeah, there's 3 games there that you look at, isn't there? Rotherham, Huddersfield, QPR, but the others are pretty tough.
Leicester away. Oof. And the final day at home to Norwich, and Norwich might be going for a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's a tough run in.
It is really, yeah. Yeah, it's not looking good.
No. Lee, any championship games for you, mate?
Norwich and Stoke, obviously a fantastic win for Norwich. They've really hit some form. They look to be scoring for fun, and they struggled a little spell, and the manager were a little under pressure, but they seem to have turned that around and proper in the mix now.
They're good to watch, Norwich.
Yeah, and Stoke really bang up against it. Watch the goals, and the defending were absolutely awful, especially for I think it was the first.
Yeah, shambolic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just so easy. It's just going to be so tight down there. I think that's the beauty of where we are with Wednesdays. There's not one team that we can sort of claw back. That there's an handful of teams that is proper in the mix.
Yeah, so you're not just relying on one team's results to go poorly or the opposite to what you're doing. Yeah. There's 3 or 4 teams where if they lose, you're going to catch up on them, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't recall a season that it's been like this. I don't know about you guys, but it's always been that where there's sort of one or the other that can go down. But it's just going to be exciting, that's for sure.
It could go to the last day. It could easily go to the last day.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. We talked off this. Do we make his predictions? Obviously, is it 8 games left now? Be wrong. Who goes down? Who's the 3? And who gets promoted? Who's the 3?
I think that's a good segue to the table, Lee. Well done.
It's like we planned that, mate.
I know. It's like we're almost getting professional. ATID said, like I said earlier, can't believe we scored more goals against Norwich than what we have under this PE teacher at home park. He's not happy with Foster.
Did you see? I don't know if it's in the clip. I've seen it on TikTok. They were shouting for him to be out. I don't know if the keeper's like sort of trying to rally it up.
To be fair, I think he's come out on Twitter and said that we're just applauding the fans. So he's kind of.
I don't know. He's been like that.
It looks suspect to me. I think we're egging it on a bit.
PE teacher's great though.
Looking at the table, so we're talking about the 3 that we think are going to go down. Ian, you said that Huddersfield look in trouble. Anthony, good friend at work, Huddersfield fan, he's fearing for their survival as well. And I've got to be with ATID. I think Plymouth just look to be struggling to get anything out of games at the minute. So I'm going Rotherham, Huddersfield, Plymouth. Ian, how about you?
I think Rotherham might go down. Yeah, well, obviously we're going to go down, but I think the 2 that's going to join us are Huddersfield and Stoke.
Different. Lee, what about you, mate?
So Rotherham, obviously. I'm going to stick Plymouth in there because I think they were in my pre-season predictions, and I'm torn between Stoke and Huddersfield. I'm going to go Stoke.
There we go.
There you go.
Nice.
I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm going to go Stoke.
What about the other end of the table, Dan?
Let's do that now. So obviously Leeds' 2-0 victory today against Millwall has leapfrogged them above Leicester, who play tomorrow night, I think. Or are they?
They played today, didn't they? In FA
Yeah,
Cup,
it'll be a catch-up game at some
point.
point.
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah. So yeah, Leeds have leapfrogged them on goal difference. I think Leicester Leeds for top 2 playoffs. I can't look past Ipswich. I just think they're doing so well this season. I'm going to go Leicester Leeds Ipswich for the 3 to go up.
I'm going to say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I don't think Leicester will make automatics. I honestly don't think they will. I think the 2 that will go up automatic are Leeds and Ipswich. And for the playoffs, I'll take Southampton, because Southampton are the best side I've seen this season in the Championship. So I think Leicester will miss out altogether.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go Leeds to win it, Leicester to come second, and then a very juicy playoff final. Are you ready? Ipswich to finally beat Norwich and go into the Premier League.
Oh, that'd be incredible. That'd be incredible.
That'd be some absolute carnage.
It will, won't it? But no, it's just. I mean, top to bottom, it's fantastic. It's an absolute brilliant league.
It is indeed.
I mean, even the race for the playoff. Obviously, you've got all in there with a fighting chance. Coventry, they both got games in hand. Even Preston.
I think we do need to touch on Coventry as well. The only representative in the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Absolutely,
so well done to them and a fantastic result against
Wolves. What a game!
Yeah. It's nice to see representation in the FA Cup so late on as well.
Yeah. Them limbs at end. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Adam Swift said, can we say hi to Addison? Of course I can. Hello, Addison, if you're watching. Massive Rovers fan, wants to meet up in the next home match. Won't be able to at the next home match because I am doing hospitality for Forest Green, but I'm more than happy to meet up next time. Probably Wrexham, I think. Yeah.
Hospitality again, Dan.
Throwing sarnies, aren't we? All over
it. To be fair, I'd be sat in there all the time. Now which grand that you have in there.
I know, that's it. Get offered that sort of food, and I'm a Yorkshire lad, and I like my food. I'm all over it. Right, lads. Moving on to League One. At this point, we always point you in the direction of Napper's Cods Vlogs. Fantastic content creator on YouTube. I think he's up at about 13,000 subs now. Incredible. He does a League One deep dive. None of us are in League One yet. Hopefully, Rovers will be back there one day. It's looking like Rotherham could be back there next season. We'll not say definitely going to be back there next season, but who knows? But yeah, we haven't got any affiliation with League One, but we do touch on a few teams, and I think we've got to start at Lincoln, haven't we?
We have.
If you want more in-depth kind of look at League One, head over to Napper's fantastic content creator. Ian, Lincoln, 16 goals, is it? Let me have a look. 16 goals in 3 games, conceded 1. They're unreal, aren't
they? What can you do? I mean, they're absolute. Every season, in most divisions, you'll get one team that will charge from mid-table up to a playoff spot. And it looks like it's Lincoln's turn this season. I mean, they're not just beating teams, they're absolutely destroying them.
Yeah,
I don't know what's gone up there. I don't know what lit the blue touch paper, but they're just relentless and ruthless. I mean, 6 goals out of 9 on target. That is one hell of a return. They are flying. I don't know. I hope they can keep it going because they're a localish side and it's a good day out at Sinsel-Bank. I really enjoy my trips there.
I think Neil's at nail on head. They've got to be on double goal bonuses. Got to
be. Yeah.
I mean, you've just got to admire what the job they're doing there. Superb. Yeah. Absolutely superb.
I don't know if
And
Sue's still in the
goals
chat.
are
Is it
coming.
something like 12, 13 games unbeaten now?
Yeah, I think it's. Is it 12? I don't know. But wow, just look at that. 6 and 5 and 5. I mean, the result at Barnsley were incredible. I mean, nobody beats Barnsley 5-1 at Oakwell, but they did.
13 games unbeaten. That is some run.
Yeah.
But before the manager coming on, they were struggling for goals, weren't they?
Yeah. They were just about lower mid-table, weren't they?
Yeah.
Just lower mid-table. But they were okay. They were never in danger of going down or anything. But wow. I mean, goals are flying in from all over. It's not just the forwards.
Yeah. And Lewis has said it. They clearly don't need Adelaide, and so by all means, give us him. Or in the summer, we'll take him off your hands.
Is Adelaide out of contract at the end of the season? Or what? Do you know?
I believe he is. Yeah.
Oh well, you've got to make him an offer at Rovers then.
Yeah, that's it. Sue is still in the chat. She's still watching, which is great to see. Could we? I think you can. I really do. You just keep on doing whatever you're doing at the minute, feeding them whatever you're feeding them, and playoffs are certainly on. Skubala and strikers press like demons, defend for our lives, and they're two things put together, and you've got a winning formula, haven't you? It's 13 games unbeaten, which is an incredible run. Neil's asked us to stop talking about 5-1 scorelines. We will unfortunately get onto that one shortly. But no, fantastic result for Lincoln. Cambridge lick the wounds, brush themselves down, and go again next time. Next on the agenda, Lee, any games that take your fancy in League One, mate?
You've got to touch on Reading, 4-0 win yesterday against Cambridge.
You're on the midweek. You're on the midweek results, Dan, at the moment.
Oh, where am I? There we go.
Yeah, let go. Yeah.
Is that right?
Cambridge again.
That's right. Yeah, Cambridge we just touched on. Obviously, they're getting spanked all over at the moment, aren't they? But credit to Reading to be pulling results out. Obviously, a massive win yesterday with the stuff that's happening at the club. It's credit to the manager. It's also credit to the players, because a lot of clubs would have really suffered with what's going off off the pitch. Sorry. Obviously, training ground obviously getting sold this week as well.
That were disgusting. That, I mean, Wickham quite rightly have been getting a lot of flack for that by feeding off the carcasses of a dying club. I think somebody put it. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on PR wise for Wickham.
Yeah. No,
but I agree with you.
Be interested to see what Wickham fans actually think about that.
I think one or two of them have expressed disgust on Twitter. But as you've said, Reading are picking the points out, and every time they get a points deduction, they seem to win a few games. So it's galvanising them. It's certainly got the siege mentality going. And Sellers is doing a good job there. I think if they can stabilise financially and survive, I think they'll have a better season next season.
Yeah, there's talk of an American buyer that's I don't know if he's in talks, but he's certainly interested. So the football world's hoping and praying that gets over the line, because it don't matter what club you support, whether it's a rival or not. You do not want to see a club go under.
No, definitely not.
I'd argue even more so if it's a rivalry, because I think that rivalry is part of football. It's a massive part of football, and I think if you've got no rivals to get bragging rights over, it loses that sort of that emotion, doesn't it, and that attachment to it. So I think probably more so.
And that's why, I mean, going further up the pyramid, that's why that if they ever were a European Super League, I can't see ever working, because there'd be no rivalry. I mean, you know what I mean? If you're jetting off to Italy and Spain and France and whatnot, where are you going to get your rivals from? All you're going to get is you're going to now get your tourist football fans. basically.
Yeah.
And that just takes so much out of the game.
Yeah, them European nights are special because they don't come off often. Obviously, it's only the big teams that play in the European competitions. But if a team does get in there, it's special, and they'd take that away from it. Like,
yeah, they would. Yeah,
we're
playing AC Milan again. Yeah.
It just becomes tedious. But now, hopefully, Reading gets sorted. Because like we said, I mean, I'll get probably a bit head bit. If it was Sheffield United, I wouldn't want to see him. Go under. A lot of Wednesday fans probably rip my head off for that, but I wouldn't want it. It's a football club.
Yeah.
It's a football fans football club, and they've had the memories through growing up. So yeah, I'm really hopeful at Reading for the fans. It gets
and it's not too long ago that Reading were an established Premier League side. Not too many too many years ago.
No,
and to see them struggling, it's really sad.
Yeah. I mean, and if you wish it on Reading, if you don't like, I think, are you really a football fan because you just don't know what's around the corner for your club?
Yeah.
A lot of clubs are struggling at the moment through bad ownership. You know, we have to look at Bradford. They're really struggling. They want him out. My club, he's not. There's a lot of bad owners.
But don't you think the football in this country, professional football, especially in the 72, which we talk about, is governed by an organisation that's not fit for purpose, the EFL? Because every time you see these clubs going into administration and being in financial trouble, the EFL seem to sit on their hands and do nothing.
Yeah. Or just smack points deductions on which helps nothing.
Yeah.
And also, and the only people that penalise with points deductions is the fans.
Yeah.
They've got to sort the pyramid system out. Premier League's got to filter that money down and stop it.
But they don't want to, do they?
No.
They don't want to.
I think the problem with that though is there's not enough regulation. I mean, we'll end up off on a tangent here, but they've refused to kind of put that money down. Imagine if they gave £1 million to every single club in 72 million quid for 20 teams in Premier League is nothing. But if there's no regulations and no rules or no guidelines or nothing to stop these teams from just spending it on players, your agents will end up upping prices. They'll end up upping wages because they know that money's there. I think if that pot of money was dedicated to, I mean, we saw midweek for Donny, Colchester's ground, the drainage is just not suitable, so we're getting postponements left, right, and centre. I think if that money was kind of segregated and put into a separate pot, ring fenced for stadium improvements, community projects, things like that, and none of it could be spent on players or wages, it could probably be spent on staff to improve kind of the physio department or anything around the club. But I think probably that's where the Premier League are a bit reluctant on giving money, because some clubs will just spend that money on players to try and get higher up the pyramid, and they'll end up in the same state as what they're in now.
You think that's the reason, Dan? I think I'd take.
I think that's part of it.
I think I honestly do think that they're so damned greedy and they're so self-centered. They just want to keep the entire cake for themselves.
You're probably not far wrong. I think there probably is an element of that. But if they're getting pressure to kind of give this money or gift this money down the pyramid, then I think it should be spent in a way, or there should be regulations on how it is spent, because for me, we'll just end up in this position where teams are spending beyond the means because they've got a little bit more money.
There is a bill going through Parliament at the moment that wanting to set up an independent regulator for UK professional football, and let's hope it comes off, and let's hope it's a sensible one. And then if there is that, then the Premier League can't do anything about it. They will have to. They will have to let go of the funds.
Yeah, exactly. ATID came in about Wickham. Says there's nothing wrong with what Wickham have done. It's not their fault that Di Younger's a wanker. Completely agree. It's like getting offered a £1 million house for £1, you're taking it. It's the same scenario. I think you're right. You're right in a certain extent. I think there's an offer there that's too good to turn down. But I think there is probably a moral obligation for clubs not to, like you said, be the vultures around a carcass at the minute. But ultimately, if it's there, why not take it?
That's why
Yeah,
I would never. Go on, Lee.
I think it's just how quick it's happened as well. I think that's it doesn't stick right. I think they've got to sort of try and give Reading an opportunity to try and get a buyer and not, because obviously it is Reading's training ground, and it's without there's nowhere for them to train. So I think what doesn't stick with me is how quick they've done it, and it must be just awful, because I won't imagine what I'd feel like.
Seems a bit dirty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it doesn't sit right with me at all.
No. A result that I wanted to touch on from the weekend. Obviously, I had Cambridge result, didn't I? Lincoln 5-0 this weekend against Bristol Rovers. So yeah, they're absolutely steamrolling teams at the minute. The result that I wanted to touch on from this weekend in League One was Derby 1, Bolton 0. I think it's massive for the top two. A really big result.
It is, yeah.
Bolton, if we have a look, came into it in half decent form, but Derby 4 wins on the bounce now. It's opened up a 4-point gap between them and Bolton, which is big at this stage. There's no games in hand as well. So Bolton are now needing a couple of snookers to overtake them. So yeah, really big result, which if it had gone the other way, completely changes the complexion of the top of the table, doesn't it?
Paul Warne knows what he's doing in this division. In League One, he knows what he's doing. He's done it
crap in Championship, isn't he?
Exactly. It's crap in Championship, I agree with you. But he knows what he's doing in League One. And, I mean, Derby really shouldn't be in League One. I mean, I bet there were 30,000 there yesterday. I'm just guessing, but I bet there were. The massive, massive club for that division. Not just so a Bolton to an extent, but I think Bolton are a team to be feared if they do go into the playoffs. I think Bolton are to be feared because they're a good side, and they've had a much better season this time. But it sounded a close game. Quite a close game, and just decided by a late-ish goal.
Yeah. It sounded as if Bolton were unlucky, because they had. I've always watched the highlights, and just from what the managers have spoke about, looks like Bolton had the better chances, but obviously Derby have got the goal.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about at this stage of season. Yeah,
that's the stat that matters. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the table. We'll do the 4 down and 3 up from this division. For me, I think Carlisle and Port Vale are destined for League 2 football next season. Fleetwood putting up a fight, unbeaten in 5.
Yeah, they're drawing too many.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? They're still 5 points away from Cambridge, but Cambridge have had a couple of spankings recently, haven't they? So I'm going to go Carlisle, Port Vale, Fleetwood, Cambridge. I think Cheltenham will just survive.
Yeah,
because they've got a game in hand.
I'd actually agree with all 4 of them. I'm with you. I think Cambridge will drop with Fleetwood, Port Vale, and Carlisle. Yeah.
Any change on that, Lee, or are you?
No, you've got full house, mate. I think Cheltenham's just showing that fight. Obviously, Fleetwood have picked up, but I think they've got 2 games in hand on Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Cambridge worried me with how many goals they're shipping, really. It's a bit of a sinking ship, obviously. Gary Monk is in there as well. No comment.
I mean, they've conceded 11 in 2 games, haven't they? Cambridge's goal difference were only at -12 before the last 2 games. They've shipped 11.
That's an absolute horrible stat. Sorry, any Cambridge fans that are watching, but we're all in agreement that those 4 teams will go down. Going up, obviously, Portsmouth. I, for one, am happy to see Portsmouth not bottling it this season. Lewis, he's coming, looking like they're finally going up. Glad that they're doing it. There's been so many seasons where they've looked so good up until about halfway through, and then they've just hit a speed bump and then just fell off. It's not happened this season. 4 defeats all season, a fantastic return in 39 games.
Incredible
so I'm going to go
season.
Portsmouth and Derby for the top 2. I'm going to go the top 3. Bolton to win the playoffs. I think facing them in the playoffs, it's going to be a tough place to go, and they're a decent team. So the top 3 as they are now, I think they'll be the 3 that go up. Ian?
Pompey, fantastic season. They've done the business like they've been threatening to for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Worthy champions in my book.
Yeah.
I think Derby will get second place because I think Paul Warne knows what he's doing and he can get them over the line. So Portsmouth and Derby to go up automatically. Playoffs, I think Lincoln will get there. I honestly do think Lincoln will get into the playoffs because I think Oxford are a bit hit and miss. They had a good win yesterday, but Lincoln's momentum will carry them into the playoffs. But as far as the playoff concerned, I'm predicting a Barnsley-Bolton final, and I think Barnsley will win it.
Oh,
there we go. And Lee?
So I'm in agreement with the top 2. I'm in agreement with the final, but I'm going to Bolton.
That's only because of last season, Lee, and when you beat Barnsley, you play a final.
Yeah, and my missus' dad still don't let me live it down now because he's a massive Barnsley fan.
Yeah.
Lewis has asked, is the playoffs too much for Stevenage?
Yeah.
It's not too much. I just think they're not. Obviously, did they get beat yesterday? I think.
Yeah, they got beaten by Leyton Orient. Yeah. Yeah,
so they've hit a little bit of a wall, but they're in there. It's not out of reach, but yeah, out of the 2, if I'm going to pick, it'd definitely be with Lincoln with just the run they're on.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We are hurtling towards the hour mark, so we will go on to League 2, and we'll start with midweek fixtures. Fantastic result for Newport. I've seen a couple of Newport fans in the chat, and I don't think playoffs is out of the picture for you guys as well. A fantastic season so far.
Brilliant run of form.
Yeah, they just seem to. I'm going to try and say this without disrespecting. I never look at Newport and think they're going to be a team that are going to be up there pushing. But I mean, there's been so many seasons where it's kind of been mid-table mediocrity. And I thought it was going to be the same this season, but I don't know. They just seem to be picking up points, picking up good wins, and you're not a million miles away from it. In 11th, 55 points, only 2 points behind Wimbledon, who occupy the final playoff spot. So with 8 games to go, it's well within the reach for Newport to make the playoffs after a decent season.
Yeah, agreed.
Midweek games as well. Sorry, Neil, got to touch on Bradford getting beat at home to Forest Green. Forest Green putting up a really good fight down at the bottom of the table. Christian Deutsch with a brace, a very early goal and a very late goal, decided that game. And it leapfrogged them above Colchester. We ended up having the postponement on Tuesday because of a waterlogged pitch. On to this weekend. Ian, any games that you want to touch on before I talk about Swindon, Donny?
I'm not going to be light, but Mansfield again. I mean, we're talking about Lincoln scoring goals for fun at the moment in League One, but Mansfield's been doing it all season. They just absolutely hammered them, didn't they? I mean, 4-0 up at half time, 27 shots, 11 on target. It don't look like Bradford got much of a kick,
No.
but they've been my tip for League 2 champions all season, and I can't see them failing. I mean, Nigel Clough won't let them fail. They had a defeat in midweek to Tranmere, which surprised me, but yeah, they're brilliant to watch. They're the best League 2 side I've seen this season.
Yeah, I'd agree. They were
one of them
great
clubs.
in our place.
Yeah, they're one of them clubs where every time they cross the halfway line, they look like they're going to score. and they've just got goals from everywhere. And I particularly like that Keeler Dunn, the guy that they got from Oldham. He's absolutely brilliant in an attacking midfield role. So Mansfield, superb League Two. Yeah, and somebody's dog agrees with me. Yeah,
Charlie's going mental. I don't know what's happening.
I wonder where that dog would come from. Hello.
It weren't me.
Yeah, he's still going mad. I'll find out what's up with him. Lee, any games that you want to touch on, mate?
Just Wrexham, 2 home games, and they've not scored in the last 2. Defeat yesterday against Tranmere. I went to the game against Harrogate, and they weren't impressive at all. Didn't ask enough questions against Harrogate. Resilient Harrogate, but yeah, just I'd be worried. Obviously, the two at the top are kicking on, and Wrexham to not score 2 home games on a bounce. It must be a bit worrying. Obviously, with the strikers they've got, they just didn't ask enough questions against Harrogate, and they never looked like scoring, if I'm honest.
Were Harrogate good value for a point then?
You'd have to say so, yeah. First half, they moved the ball around quite well, Harrogate. It was an even first half. Second half, it was sort of more Wrexham, but without really troubling them. They had a couple of chances, but nothing to really write home about. But yeah, you'd have to say a point definitely deserved for Harrogate.
Yeah. John's got a good point though. The Wrexham are still in the top 3, although they've hit a little bit of a blip. They've got a game in hand against MK Dons. The 25 shots yesterday, which can't really be overlooked, 10 were blocked. So is it down to good defending from Tranmere rather than kind of wastefulness from Wrexham? And
the best days were
Harrogate second best away from home, and pretty much part of the bus, as we say. So is it just
the best days were Tranmere did all season were appointing Nigel Adkins as manager.
Yeah,
because he steadied the ship there and got them playing some decent stuff. I mean, beating Mansfield, then beating Wrexham away in 2 games, that's bloody impressive. That's very impressive.
Yeah, they're not too bad in the table either, are they?
Yeah, Stockport 2 as well. So yeah, maybe overlooking the job that Adkins has done and the squad that Tranmere have got, maybe. But yeah, you'd think Wrexham at home, you want to see them getting on the score sheet, really, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think there might be one to watch next season, Tranmere.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay, moving on to Swindon against Donny before we start rounding off. Dog's still barking. I don't know.
Good.
Bailey's in the chat, but he has sent me a decent kind of overview of the game on Twitter. I don't think there's enough characters on the chat, but he said that I'll try and kind of put it in a nutshell. Ruthless first half, 2 good finishes. I think Biamu's goal was fantastic, really, really well taken. Took it early on the volley. Keeper's got no chance, and then Adelaide manages to shift it onto his right foot and find the bottom corner. I hope that those are 2 players that are offered contracts for next season. I thought Biamu looked good at home to Crewe last weekend. Came on for 45 minutes and was busy and kind of put himself about a bit. He had 2 good headers, which he probably should have done better with at least one of them. I think it was a free header, and it just went straight down the keeper's throat. But he's managed to get on the score sheet this weekend. Adelaide as well. He just adds that bit of quality to the team. Bailey said Broadbent, great work from Broadbent. Biamu deserved his first goal. Thought Swindon looked decent going forward and offered more attacking threat than Crewe did last week, but they were wasteful with the final ball. Anderson headed and cleared absolutely everything. Second half was backs to the walls throughout, and then even more so when Biamu came off. But we don't think it's an injury. We think that he's just absolutely knackered because he hasn't played too many games in the last year and a half, 2 years. But we could have killed the game off with a Molyneux chance. But obviously we didn't. Loads Tyler played well, managed to hang on to the lead and dig in like Grant McCann said in his post-match a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, sorry, would have lost that game. And it shows that the mentality shifted in the squad. It's a big difference since Wood and Loads Tyler have come in. Bailey was the man of the match for him, just ahead of Anderson and Loads Tyler. Wood never seems to have a standout game, but he just cruises through games, making everything easy for himself and others around him, always 2 step ahead. And it just makes everybody around him look so much better. I mean, you'll have seen that, Ian, while he was at Rotherham.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I mean, he's got no pace. He's got the turning circle and a double-decker bus, but he knows what he's doing. He organises. He shouts at people when they deserve to be shouted at, and he's an all-round good egg.
Yeah. And Bailey's asked what my thoughts are on Anderson's upturning performance since Wood's come in. I think Anderson probably was trying to do what Wood does really well, in terms of organising and kind of shepherding and just kind of keeping the defence well drilled. I think you probably need somebody like Wood next to him to bring the best out of him. And I think you see the same with Oluwu when he plays alongside Wood. They just seem so much calmer on the ball and just happy to receive the ball, and they just know what they're doing. The line's good, and I think Richard Wood is the reason for that. He's just so experienced at it, and like Bailey says, he just makes it look easy, but he never really has a massive standout game. But in terms of this, a fantastic result, and it's, for me, that has made us safe now. We're still not mathematically safe, but I was wanting the 46 points. I said before we came live, my next target now is to do better than what we did last season, which was 55 points. So, yeah, another 9 points and another 10 points, and we're bettered last season's total. And we look forward to next season, which is hopefully a more productive one and a more positive one. And this run of, I think we've lost 1 in 9. We can take that confidence and that mentality through and hopefully have a really good, positive season next season. Yeah. Lovely stuff. Lee, any League Two games that you want to touch on, mate?
No, I think we've about covered it. I think you've about covered it, mate. I don't know if you want to put in chat. If obviously we've been doing our predictions from League One and League Two, Championship. Sorry. If anyone wants to predict their 4 teams going up,
let's get it in. We'll do that now on the table. My 2 to go down, I can't look past the 2 that are there now. Although Forest Green are putting up a really good fight, I just think they've given themselves a little bit too much to do. Colchester. The reason I'm not going with Colchester is not because the fans will come at me again. It's
I'm so shocked that you've not stuck them in.
they've got a couple of games in hand, and I think they'll pick up a point or 2 in them. I'm going to go with bottom 2 as the stand now. What about you, Ian?
It's going to be tight because, like you said, Forest Green picked up a couple of wins recently, but the losing to Sutton yesterday could be massive for the chances. One of Colchester's games in hands against Rovers, isn't it?
It is.
So, yeah. I'll stick me neck out. I'd say Sutton and Forest Green.
There we go, Lee.
Yeah, you can't look past them two to go down, but you've got to give yourself a pat on the back, though, Dan. To be fair, because you'd predicted Colchester to struggle, and they're struggling. So
I got some hammer as well, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly. All that stick that you got, I think the Colchester fans need to jump in here and apologise.
Yeah. Gratification for my prediction. In all honesty, I know absolutely nothing about football, and predictions are just that.
Well, you only have to look at my Notts County to win league. Look where they're sat.
Well, to be fair, we all said anybody who finishes above Notts County will go up automatically. So there's like 16 teams going up this season. So
there you go. I know my stuff.
In terms of top 3, I think MK Dons will nick it. I really do, from Wrexham. So I'm going Mansfield, Stockport, MK. but I think Wrexham will do playoffs. So that's my 4. Ian?
Right. Mansfield champions and
Right.
deservedly so.
Right.
Stockport and Wrexham. I think Wrexham will do it. I think they'll come with a second wind. I do, because of the momentum and the feel-good factor there. I think Wrexham will get automatics. As for the playoffs, it's a right lottery. I mean, even at this stage of the season, anybody could make it into the top 7, especially 7th place.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick one to get 7th place,
Donny.
I can't look past Crawley. No, I think Crawley. I honestly do think Crawley might get the 7th place. But the winners of the playoff, to me, Crewe Alexandra.
See, I didn't think much of them last weekend, Ian.
No, I know, but I didn't. And I saw them at home to Crawley a few weeks ago, and I didn't then, but they won.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, when they're good, they're very good. But when they're, when they're off form, they're a bit too inconsistent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they've got enough about them.
There we go.
Besides, I like going to Gresty Road, so there you go.
Yeah. Mansfield to win it. Stockport. I agree. MK Dons are going to get 3rd, but I think Wrexham will go up via the playoffs because it'll be just that Disney video. It just meant for a good video, but I do think they have got the experience to see them over the line. So yeah,
and if Wrexham do go up, whether it be the playoffs or automatic, I think Sky will wank themselves to death. Because they're the number 1 fairy tale club. They've taken over from Salford, haven't they? A fairy tale club in Sky. Skyland.
I think that's probably a good point to get the table off of the screen. Sky wanking themselves to death. Lovely stuff. Right. We have got the predictions. Let's get these up. I've just realised I put the table in the wrong place, so the StreamYard logo is over the over Neil and Bailey. But you guys are a joint top on 91 points. Ian, I was going to say just behind them, but you're not. You're on 79 points. There's a big gap between 2nd and 3rd. But I had a good week. Pulled myself up to 4th, and a couple of changes here and there throughout the table. But we've only got 2 games to predict this weekend because of the international break. So we are doing Doncaster Rovers versus Forest Green and Stockport against MK Dons. So if you are involved in this, get your predictions in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this throughout the week. I have gone Donny 3, Forest Green 1. Ian, what are you going with that one?
Exactly the same score. 3-1 to Rovers.
Lovely stuff. And I've gone with a 2-1 win to MK Dons. What about yourself for that one, Ian?
I'm going for a 1-0 win for MK Dons.
1-0 for MK. Lee, Donny, Forest Green?
Yeah, 2-0 win for Rovers.
Lovely.
And then I'm going 2-1 to MK Dons.
2-1 to MK. And ATID, we're going to fall out. 2-1 to Forest Green. That is a hideous scoreline.
He's on the wind up there, surely.
I know. What's he doing? Thought we were friends. But no. Get your predictions in, and I'll update the table, and we'll have a look at that on the 31st of March. We are not here next week because I am going to Leeds to watch Pendulum. Looking forward to that one, and it's the international break anyway, so we're not going to miss too much. But yeah, let's round this off. Ian, any final words on this one?
Yeah, enjoyable podcast again. Nice bit of therapy, and also another point. There's going to be 2 weekends where Rotherham haven't lost. Like this one and next one. So I'm buzzing.
And Lee, any final words from you, mate?
No, great to be back on. Missed it, like I said earlier on. And it's a good therapy session after getting slapped 6-0 on a Saturday afternoon. You can put it behind you and focus on a new week now.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that this show's mainly here for. Just so people can have a good old rant about their club. We all go through times. I said to Ian on Twitter when he posted a picture of him at the New York, why am I putting myself through this? I think stick with your team through the shit, and
Absolutely.
when it gets better, it feels so much more better.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's more earned when you've stuck through them through the thin times. So hopefully better times do come for a lot of the clubs that are struggling at the minute. But yeah, hopefully this has been enjoyable for you as it has been for us. Thank you so much for getting involved in the chat. It's been really busy tonight. I think we topped out about 34 viewers, which is good. So yeah, just keep on sharing it, getting people involved. The more people in here, the more people chat, the more the community grows, and we can all support each other and have a good bit of banter and keep it respectful, which is all that matters. So I just want to thank everybody, each and every one of you, for joining in with the chat and the show. We really do appreciate it. So have a fantastic week, and we will see you in 2 weeks on the 31st of March for episode 67 of the 72 review. If you're watching this throughout the week, stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments, get them in the section down below. Subscribe to Over the Bar, Around the Grounds, Punk Chef 41, who's not with us at the minute, and also myself if you haven't already. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Get the teeth in.